Hello and welcome into another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I'm your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI and your host of the Daily Sun Devil Insider Podcast. And I'm so grateful to be joining you on this beautiful Friday morning. We are in a very, very eventful time for Arizona State athletics once again. I will likely be at the baseball game at home tonight against Loyola Marymount, which kicks off an 8-game homestand. I believe um, the last non-conference home games of the year are upon us, and that'll be a lot of fun to cover. Um, Women's basketball has a game later today, quarterfinals of the Women's Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, playing the two seed West Virginia, which they were in position to beat about a month and a half ago. They ended up getting outscored by 13 in the fourth quarter to lose the game, but they were in position to win going into that period in Morgantown. And let's see if they can officially lock up an NCAA tournament bid later today, 4:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The game might be over by the time this recording drops. I'm sure we will talk about it a little bit in tomorrow's episode. Uh, there we go with that. And for football, the ramp up for spring practices is coming. I'm very, very excited for that as well. Uh, and that leads us a segue into men's basketball. Their regular season ends tomorrow morning, actually tomorrow afternoon, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time against number 6 Iowa State. This is officially an opportunity for Bobby Hurley and his team to pick up their most impressive win of the season. Um, Already have several impressive victories on their resume. They have taken down Hawaii on the road. They took down Texas, who is on the bubble, but they are a likely NCAA tournament team. They took them down on a neutral site. They took down Oklahoma on a neutral site. They've defeated Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and Kansas over the last 3 weeks. They've taken down Cincinnati. And looking back on it, there are some major missed opportunities for this team as they blew a 12-point lead to lose to UCF. That would have been a major victory. Their only quote unquote bad loss of the season came to Oregon State at home in the non-conference finale. That's really the only blemish on their record right now. You could argue that even if they didn't end up beating Colorado one of the two times they played, even if they didn't end up beating Baylor on a retry, even if they didn't hold on and beat UCF, if you got to retry any of those, if they had beaten Oregon State, there's a very strong argument to be made that they would be on the right side of the bubble right now. They would have a 17 and 13 record and zero bad losses, several impressive wins, and 7 wins in the most challenging conference in college basketball. You can make a reasonable case that they would be looking on the right side up going into this game. But Iowa State presents an opportunity, like I said, to pick up a true season-defining victory. You already had several of them, but this would be more impressive than all of them. Uh, Beating Iowa State in their senior day game. Obviously, the number 6 ranked team in the nation. I believe they are top 10 in net. That would qualify as a quad 1A victory. And I could make an argument that beating Iowa State on the road in the regular season finale would boost their tournament case greatly. Right now, according to Joe Lunardi, they are the final team on the proverbial bubble, which means they are the 12th team out of the tournament right now, which means, logically speaking, they have a lot of work to be done. They need to win games and they need teams ahead of them to lose. But beating Iowa State, I'd say, would catapult them into at least the next four out, if not the first four out. And here's why. Um, I believe that Arizona State is 65 in net right now going into Friday. And a win over Iowa State would probably boost them into the low 50s range. That would be a victory that would really, really help their metrics. And that would put them in the range of teams that are on the bubble as at-large selections this cycle. The sheer number of elite teams in the power conferences, as well as great mid-major teams, has severely limited the range of at-large selections in terms of net ranking. What I mean is usually the team that is the lowest in net that gets selected as an at-large is typically in the 60 to 75 range. Arizona State's 65 right now, and they are on the fringes of the bubble. So they probably need to work their way up into the 50s. And win over Iowa State would do very much uh, in terms of accomplishing that. Now, I do believe that they would probably need to win one or two games in the Big 12 tournament as well. But Colorado is in a tough game on Saturday. If they lose and Arizona State wins, Arizona State gets the 11th seed, and that would line up for them to play probably Baylor and probably West Virginia or TCU. They can definitely win those games. And if they do that, I think that they would be tournament bound. I think if they lose Iowa State, they probably need to win three Big 12 tournament games, which means they need to probably knock off Iowa State in a rematch. We'll see what happens. There's so many moving parts to this, and Iowa State is absolutely a formidable opponent. I mean, they are 13 and a half point favorites. They have several players that can change a game for them. The fact that they have seven players that have played at least 27 games, eight players that have played at least 27 games, just speaks to the overall camaraderie, the continuity, the talent of this team. Tamin Lipsey is as solid of a player as you're going to get in the Big 12. Two-way impact is incredible. Um, Bateman is an underrated player, one of their three-point marksmen, and obviously Monkivilic and Jefferson are their two leading scorers. Jefferson, in particular, is an extremely well-rounded player. 17 points, seven rebounds, five assists, almost two steals, almost one block a game. Shoots 35% from three-point range. Just an all-around wrecking ball. 6'9" forward. That's going to be an absolute challenge for uh, Santiago Truitt, for Masamba Diop, for potentially Alan Mukeba if he is able to play. And TJ Otzelberger is one of the best coaches in the Big 12. I think it's time that that is acknowledged as a fact. Say what you want about his antics, say what you want about any of that. He's an elite coach. He's had Iowa State playing above their means for multiple years now. Not to say that Iowa State isn't a very talented team because they are, but when you're going against the likes of Kansas, Arizona, and others with as much elite freshman talent as they have, and you're on the arguably the second or third best team in the conference with all of that being pitted against you, that's an incredible coaching job being done. Uh, he always gets the most out of his team, and senior day for Iowa State is going to intrinsically motivate them to come out on top to get a better positioning in the Big 12 tournament. I believe if they win, they lock up a double bye in the tournament, so they have a lot on the line as well. As for Bobby Hurley, this might be his final regular season game at Arizona State. I think that Mo Odom, Masamba Diop, and others are going to continue to. I think the whole team is, but especially the X factors that have been there the entire season, are going to bring their A game. And I believe that Arizona State has a chance to win this game. I think it will be another competitive game in league play. And I'm not going to make a prediction one way or the other, but Arizona State, I think, does have an opportunity to pull off a massive upset. Until then, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. Arizona State, Iowa State, Saturday noon Mountain Standard Time. FS1 is the broadcast, and I will be covering the game for each and every one of you as always. Until then, thank you so much, and I will see you with an episode after the game tomorrow. Thank you so much.